Welcome, Renaud Salmon. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
My pleasure.
Creative director of Amouage, an incredible, iconic brand that has really kind of solidified itself on so many levels. The evolution of tradition and heritage and culture. This is what I first think when I think of the brand. First of all, let's see, what is your involvement with Shop Luxe talk?
Well, we were very privileged to come here in Abu Dhabi to be able to present not only once but twice, because my CEO Marco was also here. He talked about the global journey that Amouage has had in the past years, where it comes from, like what makes it unique as well in the landscape of perfumery. And on my hand, so I had the chance to be on this beautiful stage outside called the Van Gogh stage. And I talked specifically about retail, how we approach retail, and a few principles we have followed to create this feeling of newness coming from a house of heritage. Because Amouage has been around for more than 4 decades now. And
4 decades?
4 decades. It was created in 1983 at the request of His late Majesty Sultan Qaboos to be the gift of kings. And you know, the whole philosophy and thinking is, well, with 4 decades of heritage, how could you avoid being anchored in an aesthetic and in a thinking that feels, you know, a little bit old school or rigid or dusty and so on, knowing that clients expect, you know, proximity, transparency, modernity, and an energy, you know, that I think it's really important to bring a contemporary energy if you want to be relevant today. So how do you do that in the context of an heritage brand? That was really the topic of my talk.
It's actually a topic that's very dear to my heart, because I think that people misunderstand the concept of heritage and culture. Usually it's seen as primitive, but actually what it does is it gives you a stronger sense of identity. And it's all about innovation, you know, when it comes to celebrating heritage and taking it to the next level.
Yeah.
You have a certain process of creation. Maybe you can tell us a bit more about how does that happen? Where does the drawing board start for you?
Yeah, I mean, my creative process is first, it starts with an emotion, always. Okay, so at first, my creative process is always very personal. It's about me, what I feel at a specific moment, at a specific time, and so on. But Amouage is not about me. Amouage is about Oman. It's about the values of like hospitality, richness, generosity, and so on. So the creative process is all about transforming my personal perception of something that I believe, you know, is important, is interesting to talk about, and so on, into something that is about Amouage, that is going to be relevant and now actually relevant globally. So how do I do that? I need to go through a process of what I call extrapolation. So I feel an emotion. I need to ask myself, okay, what am I feeling? What words can I put on what I'm feeling, and so on? And then I start extrapolating, thinking, okay, where in my referential, so in art, in cinema, music, fashion, history, and so on, like where was that emotion or that topic approached and tackled, you know, by an artist, by someone, documented, and so on. So that's when I start like building a collage of different manifestations of that feeling. But then the last part of the process is, okay, like if I were just like to repeat, you know, and talk about the exact same thing as most of the people I've done before, that would not be very original. Mm-hmm. So then I need to try to juxtapose actually that collage with something that brings the tension and that brings, you know, something new. So ultimately, you know, bringing two realities together that are not meant to live together is what guarantees the originality, and that's what guarantees that the creative process actually is hopefully going to be interesting.
With Fashion Weeks, we noticed a direction in nature We have, birds. You have, greenery. You have, especially the haute couture, the season.
Mushrooms.
Yeah, mushrooms as well.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. It's funny because I was thinking about it literally 2 days ago. I posted actually on my Instagram account, like the outcome of like several months of research now about using mushrooms in packaging, in fragrances. So it's what they call myco-design, and in general, the idea that maybe the future of packaging can live actually in the world of fungi and mushrooms and so on. So when I saw, the Chanel show with mushrooms and so on, I was like, oh my God, like there must be something about mushrooms these days.
It's incredible. If you look at the actual product that was created through Matthew Blazy, you don't really see anything in particular that's innovative from afar on social media. But if you get closer, you look at the detail and the intricacies. It shows that people are ready to explore more offline, I think. What are your thoughts on that?
So the way I read it is the following. I think, and it's super interesting because I think when you say haute couture is often associated by people as, like big silhouettes, a flamboyant, attitude and a lot of layers, volumes and things that you would not be wearing every day, right? But, I think what that specific show tells as a story is, well, I mean, maybe haute couture is about, craft and like details and minutie and like the understanding of materials, movement, transparency and all of that and so on. And ultimately what it shows is that the richness and generosity that people associate with haute couture can be translated by something else than just, big volumes and things that might be unwearable in the street. And I think, that's probably why, like some people might be a little bit puzzled about it, but that's why also I think the show was particularly strong because it came as, like as something very fresh. And I think it was a beautiful take on the savoir-faire, the craft, the texture, the materials, and so on.
It's incredible. I had the privilege of being invited to Amouage with the incredible team. And I also got to see the opening of the Solitaire boutique, Amouage in Solitaire in Riyadh.
Yeah.
The design was really something that resonated. And we go back to nature, but there's a tree that kind of surpasses the entrance. So maybe you should tell us about how that happened.
Exactly. So each Amouage boutique is different, tells a story about Amouage and Oman, but also about the location where the boutique is being built. And specifically for Solitaire. So first of all, the name Solitaire, is interesting. It means, like there is a notion of loneliness and like being, singular. And I think, it gave me the inspiration to try to find that link in something, that maybe, people don't always look at and so on. And that inspiration was a specific tree. If I recall the name correctly, in Arabic is the kejri tree. So it's a tree that you see actually everywhere in the region. You see it in Oman, you see it in, obviously in Saudi. And the particularity of that tree is that it's a very resilient tree. So you would see it like very lonely in the middle of a desertic area growing. And I felt, this is a beautiful analogy to talk about, not only the resilience, but about the vision of two nations, that have very distinct visions and so on, but that embody also like the beauty of the diversity of the region. So it's that connection between Oman and Saudi. And then that tree is very resilient. It only needs a few drops of water per year to grow. And that's why when you look at the design of the boutique, so you enter in the boutique and actually we have two trees. And one of them is
join
reaching.
each other, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they are like And it's quite symbolic if you think about it, because it's one might be the tree of Oman, one might be the tree of Saudi. Actually, when we talk about it, it makes a lot of sense. One of them is reaching with a branch to like this kind of digital column. And the content of that digital column is actually ferrofluids, so fluids that react to magnets. And literally what you see is one drop of water that was filmed with a macro lens. And it tells the story actually of the branch of the tree reaching out to that one drop of water, and then the whole boutique being born like from that. And that's what I loved about it.
It's definitely eye-catching, and everyone talks about it, in Riyadh. So you definitely made an impression. Moving on to the incredible scents. How do you go about selecting a scent or creating a new launch, or what is the process for that?
I mean, creating a scent takes time. And at the same time, I have quite some ideas and inspiration and so on about fragrances in general. So the last thing you want when you create a scent, I think, in my opinion, is to have to face this challenge of having to give birth to a scent at a specific time. So actually, from that point of view, I think I'm trying to avoid the situation in which some fashion designers might be, which is like, the show is on that day, it needs to come out. I want to avoid that. Like, I don't want that stress. I don't want like the risk actually of, of putting something out there that I'm not like fully satisfied and happy with, that has been reworked many times. So how do I get there? Like, I work actually on around 20 different fragrances at the same time. So if you come any day to my studio, in Muscat, on top of the manufacturer, you might see around like 20 mood boards. And the mood boards being, the outcome of the creative process we talked about. So each mood board is a fragrance I'm working on. And each fragrance, is first like like a reflection, and then obviously I start sharing with perfumers and visual people and my team and so on. So progressively, people connect with the universes I want to talk about, and those ideas slowly come to life as new fragrances. But because I'm working on so many of them at the same time, like, I don't have the pressure to release any of them at a specific time. So what is being released is really what I think is ready. So if you think about it, like, let's say I release like, let's say 3 to 4 fragrances per year at Amouage. If I'm working on 20 fragrances, it means that I allow myself to take 5 years effectively for each fragrance, which is, it's a luxury to have that amount of time in today, in the industry I'm working in. But it's only possible because I work on that process of just working on many ideas at the same time, like living with them, sleeping with them, smelling them on other people, and so on. And it does not mean that I work every single day, on every single idea for 5 years. Like, sometimes I would spend the whole summer, let's say I would spend the whole summer in Europe with one of those scents, like in my luggages, or a few of them, just like wearing it and see how I feel about it. And that's also like, it's a real luxury. And that's probably what luxury is all about. Then, like taking time, giving time, sharing time.
How long does it take for you to, do you have a nose? There's a specific person who smells all the scents for you, or do you do everything yourself?
So I don't do anything myself.
Okay.
So that's a good point. So I'm not a nose myself. My background is, is more into art direction, photography, and so on. But I I work with noses, so the so-called noses or the perfumers.
And where are the noses usually from? Like,
oh
where are
well, they would be based either in Paris, in Grasse, in New York for some of them, in Dubai as well for some of them, and so I involve them because ultimately they are the ones writing the formula, and they are the ones literally like trying to answer the briefs, and then it's a very collaborative relationship. So they would share what they call, usually we start with what we call like the accord, like the main accord, which is the backbone of the fragrance. And usually the backbone of the fragrance can be explained in like 3 or 4 ingredients. It's like, you know what, we are going to do tobacco with frankincense and we will sweeten everything with a bit of licorice. That's the main accord. That's like literally like the backbone of a fragrance. And then once it clicks, it's like, okay, I think it talks about this in my board, and so I like it. Let's go ahead. Then that's when you start faceting the fragrance. And then it's this back and forth with the perfumers, and the back and forth can be physical. It's like, okay, I travel, I come to Paris, I go to Paris regularly, I go to New York regularly. I mean, I travel most of the time. But it could be as well very romantic and like sending letters to each other. Like, hey, I'm sending you this sample. Wear it at night. Tell me how you feel in the morning, And it's like, because ultimately it's about emotions. It's about feeling something. And
memory as well, right?
And yeah, memories, 100%. Like, yeah, like, I mean, and sometimes that can be very puzzling for some people, because a perfumer would share like an idea with me, and I would smell it and I would say, listen, it evokes a very strong negative reactions to me because, because that person was wearing this at the funeral or something like that. And that's when, that's when, again, back to how my creations should not be personal, but ultimately they are quite personal. I mean, that's one of the aspects that it's very hard for me to move ahead with something that evokes, strong negative reactions or something like that, unless I want it as part of the brief.
Interesting. There's a plethora of young Saudi entrepreneurs that want to pursue and follow the kind of footsteps of getting into the industry. What kind of advice do you have someone who would want to follow your kind of direction? What would be the important stepping stones that one would need to take?
I mean, if I can speak specifically about perfumery, the first thing I would say is don't be shy and trust the fact that actually you have every right, everything it takes to be successful and to create actually something very qualitative and very desirable, because you have that in your blood. You have that in your culture, in your everyday life here in the region. So if you want to do something in perfumery, guess what? You were born in the right place. If you want to be a fashion designer, probably better to be born in a big fashion capital. But now, you see actually, people like, but it's probably a bit more difficult, to make it from a remote location. But I think, the world is going in that direction. But guess what? If you want to do something in perfumery, you were probably born in the right place. So that's the first thing, it's like very liberating. And why am I saying that? Because I realize that people here are very educated about fragrances, like
yes,
intuitively. They understand the technicality of it. They have a very good nose because they've been like, raised with that. Like since they were a baby, they were smelling things that, people wait to be like 40 years old in Europe to smell.
Like the oud, it's very much part of the culture, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, so true.
And not every kind of wood, like very good quality woods and so on. So it's a gift, it's a blessing, So first of all, don't be shy, because you have everything it takes to be a successful like entrepreneur or creatives in this field. Secondly, try to express something very genuine and authentic about you and about where you come from and so on. Don't try to be a Me Too. Don't try to imitate, what Grasse or Paris or whatever would do, because again, that would defeat the purpose of, bring to life something very genuine and different, because that's what people want. Because today, guess what? Like, you will be one among a sea of perfumes being launched every single week or day. Like, I think there are like 10 fragrances launched every day? Imagine, like 10 new fragrances launched every day. And many of them, have a bit of the same inspirations and so on. So you probably want to do something very different, genuine, authentic, that can be smelled as much as it's felt, like that it's like, okay, like I can like feel the heart of the person behind it, and then work hard. And hopefully, inshallah, it's going to resonate.
You've succeeded to make a lot of the scents unisex, where either could wear it. A lot of them are. But if you were to say the Amouage woman is and the Amouage man is, what would be the words, for example?
I mean, I don't know, because what I would say is that, first of all, like, I don't think I was intentionally like trying to, make the fragrances unisex. I think by definition they are unisex, and by definition perfumery should not be gendered. It helps, people to navigate, but literally, like, I was born and raised in Europe. I lived in Europe for quite some time. I moved to the US, then I've lived for the past 6 years in Oman. The benefit of that is that I realized actually that the perception of the genderization of fragrances is very, very cultural and very local. Like in New York, if you wear a rose fragrance, you have to be a woman. Or like, like, it would be more logical to wear a rose fragrance if you are a woman. Here in the region, it's not the case at all. Like, and I think
all this mixing also that happens.
It's mixing. So the perception of ingredients is very, very cultural, and the genders and so on. And again, I think you would want to link like some attributes or characteristics of fragrances to a gender. Like, let's say, okay, like, this fragrance is more delicate, or this fragrance feels a bit more rough or something. But again, you go back to stereotypes. Like, okay, why would a woman be more delicate than a man? Or why would a man need to wear a rough fragrance? Like, are we not like allowed to like enjoy wearing whatever we want, particularly something invisible that is just like, natural and chemical ingredients? Like, come on. Give me a break. Let's just like enjoy being who we are, and may fragrances be, that liberating factor that is going to give us the possibility to be truly who we want to be. That's all.
And with all these incredible boutiques opening all over the world, you are literally bridging cultures through the scents.
Yeah.
It's incredible how you're introducing a whole new scent to a whole new market. What is the consensus or the feedback from that? So especially the local ones.
Yeah, first of all, I think perfumery was always about bridging cultures, because perfumery is based on the trade of ingredients and so on. And the trade of ingredients was what united, continents, cultures, and so on. So in the end, I think there should always be the role of perfumery. Like when I see people arguing about fragrances or saying like, okay, this wood is better than this one and this and so on, I'm like, perfumery is something we should enjoy. It should unite like people and so on and all of that. And it's it's a gift you give to yourself, you give to the other ones and so on. When you wear a nice perfume and so on, it's like a firework, it's like, hey, just enjoy it for what it is. The consensus is, I think, I mean, I think people appreciate, like all around the world, people are curious. I'm very positively surprised about the curiosity of people around the world when it comes to Oman and the region. Like, and it's really refreshing. It feels like the world was ready for that. So that gives me a big smile everywhere I go when someone knows about Amouage and so on. So sometimes you find like the expatriate community in some countries being very proud of, hey, Amouage is finally, coming to to the country where I live and so on. So I'm proudly Omani, or I'm proudly from the region. I'm going to share, the Amouage with my entourage and so on. It's finally my opportunity to talk about something I'm very proud of. We see that quite a lot. But we also see the opposite, like people who are genuinely, not familiar at all with Oman, but curious about perfumery. So, and lovers of perfumery. So they would come in the boutiques or any event we would have and so on. And they would the entry point would be Amouage, but then they would start getting curious about Oman. And some of them would take a trip to Oman and would discover an entirely new culture that they had no clue existed and so on. And I mean, that makes me super proud, because from that point of view, then Amouage becomes a bit the ambassador of Oman as well.
It's incredible, because I really do think that the international community is starting to take more interest in our region, whether it comes to fashion, art, scents. I work with brands, and brands are also starting to take our region more seriously. So I think it's all about identity as well. I think in the past, our identity was maybe a little bit blurred, but now we are all kind of, every region has its own heritage, its own way of thinking, cultural values. So it's amazing what a product that has so much heritage, what it can do, and the movement that it creates from it. But what's next for Amouage? What else do we have to look forward to?
I mean, as I described, like the fact that I have lots of ideas when it comes to fragrances and so on, for sure, you can expect new fragrances. My role is to innovate. My role is to, and when I say innovate, I mean, like, I want to push and propose new ideas in perfumery always, and new ideas might be, new accords that I mentioned, but there might be just new processes, trying to push the craft, a bit further and so on, reinvent some of the processes. I mean, infuse ideas that I think are important, when it comes to sustainability, when it comes to diversity, when it comes to ethical sourcing and all of that and so on. So I think, you will see not only new products, but you will see like our convictions that are really, really, really going to be expressed in a deeper way, if possible. And then, yes, some expansion, but in a careful way, because again, like every product is made by hand in the manufacturers, so there is only that much we can produce every year. You don't want Amouage, to become like, the brand you see everywhere. Anytime, you travel, you go shopping and so on, in every single type of boutique and so on. I mean, it would not make sense. And I don't think that it would do justice to the work of, the artisans at the manufacturer and so on. But at the same time, the demand is there, and people want, those qualitative products with a point of view. So I think we will, keep on working on like designing new boutiques. I love that, So anytime I have the chance to take over like a nice building or location or something like that with a bit of an architectural gesture and so on, I think this is what keeps me quite excited about the future. And then hopefully we can venture into different types of projects, new projects, blending even more with the, I think the connections with the art world are really important. So trying to connect with artists who have the same vision and so on is going to be also something I'll be busy with.
I've noticed beautiful packaging and boxes that are art pieces. There's an incredible artist. Her name is Lul Hamoud. I'll share with you her work.
Okay.
And she involves a lot of embroidery and intricacy, but she's also very mathematical in everything that she does. She showcased in Sotheby's and globally, part of Nouriad and many different. You've heard of Nouriad. And,
yes.
Someone who you should, I'm just saying, someone who maybe you should consider in the future. But the process of creating your packaging is it's very eye-catching. Maybe tell us a bit more about.
Yeah, I mean, thank you. I mean, the way I work on packaging is just the extension of the process, which is ultimately I want to move people. I want to have that impact, with my fragrances, but in a way that is not going to feel like an overload of ornamentation and so on. So everything needs to be very very fluid, very organic, and so on. So the packaging is the extension of the rest of the art direction. So that's why I consider really every single element, and there is an important abstract aspect of the packaging, which is to me, when I work on it, it needs to bring to life the scent, or the emotion, or I would say the emotion that I'm after. But it needs to be abstract enough that anyone can, enter in it and most likely, put their own interpretation to it. It's something, that is important to me. And I do the same with names, names, packaging, and visuals to an extent as well. The abstraction of it is important because I think that's when the appropriation by people actually happens. And that's when, you start connecting in a way that is probably deeper than just, okay, let me tell you exactly what everything is all about. Let me put everything on the table. Let me justify why this product is so expensive and so on. Because I think then you move into something that is really all about post-rationalization and explanation and justification. And I don't like that. I like much more the idea of progressive discovery. It's a bit like when you walk in a wadi in Oman or something like that. You turn left, you see something beautiful. You turn right, you see something amazing. But you cannot anticipate the next turn. And I think that's what is, part of my creative philosophy at Amouage. And I think it's very true to the personality of Oman as well.
Absolutely. I mean, art is a universal language, and you reiterate that even more so in your work. We have some beautiful pieces here.
Yes, I see. A beautiful collection.
Yes. Obviously, as you said, it's like having your kids. You can't choose between one or the other, right? But if you were to choose one here, which would be the one you
to wear right now?
Yes.
Knowing that we are at Shop Talks, I would probably wear Guidance 46.
Okay.
So let me just move this.
Sure.
Here we go. Do you know it?
I believe I've tried it before, but I'm happy to try it again. Yeah.
So Guidance 46 is what we call an exceptional extrait. The number 46 indicates the concentration of the fragrance, so it means that it contains 46% of pure perfume oils. Quite a high dosage, but you will see that, if you try the fragrance is very, it has a lot of nuances. Actually, you see the bottle is nearly empty because people love it.
That's a very good sign. Very good sign, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. But so it has a lot of nuances. It's a fragrance that I would usually call a loud whisper, which is, it's quite loud in the way you will see it evolves, the way it spreads, the way it lasts and so on, but it really whispers. That fragrance, I created it with Quentin Biche. Amazing perfumer, extremely talented. And I think, it strikes this balance between the richness and the generosity that people expect from Amouage, but a form of simplicity and authenticity and single-mindedness that is, I think, that is necessary today. And that's something really like I insist on, like richness and generosity should not be automatically translated into ornamentation and overload of codes that convey actually, intricacies and richness. Like sometimes
less is more.
Less is more, and particularly, I think, I really feel that like the region has understood this, but still, some international companies, that tend to think that, like if you want to be relevant in the region, you need, this overload of gold and of ornamentations and this kind of direct expression of relatively old school luxury in my mind. And what I fell in love with, when I go to Saudi, when I go to, I don't know, Diriyah, Alula, and so on, is like, actually there is this renewed appreciation of craft and heritage and an aesthetic that is rooted into, to me, something that feels very authentic and very appealing as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, bravo. Our last question is our signature question.
Okay.
What is authenticity to you?
It's speaking with an open heart. Yeah, it's showing your textures. It's being, I would say, being unfiltered, but with some kindness or chicness around it, because authenticity is not brash, in my opinion. There's something, I mean, at least that's the way I perceive it in Oman.
Okay. I like that a lot. Thank you so much for being part of our Gems in Focus episode.
My pleasure.
And we're big admirers of your work, and we love the evolution that is happening with culture. I'm an avid fan of this movement, and continue doing what you're doing. I salute you and the Amouage team.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being part of this.
See you soon.
Thank you.